had a lot of requests for this video, so here it is. We're going to take Bang & Olufsen's first ever headphones, the U70 from 1978, and hear how they sound on video compared to the latest flagship H95s. Come and join me and hear for yourself how headphone design has improved at Bang & Olufsen. I'm Steve from Sounds Heavenly. My day job's making the cables that connect Bang & Olufsen products, but I'm also a brand ambassador for B&O, which is why I come to have the latest H95 headphones here. And I must also offer a big thank you to Anton at Skynex AV for kindly loaning me these classic U70s. By the time you see this video, the U70 headphones will be back with Anton, so I'll put in the video description a link to Anton's website, and if these are of interest to you, I understand they'll be offered for sale, so please check that out. Now very quickly, it's worth mentioning price differences. In 1978, the U70s sold for the princely sum of £35 in the UK, which sounds like nothing, but in 2021 that equates to £220. So it would be valid to argue that instead of the H95s, we should maybe compare these to Bang & Olufsen's current H4 headphones, which retail at £250. However, what I want to do, instead of do a direct like-for-like buyer's guide, is really show you how the best of Bang & Olufsen's headphone technology compares. So I make no apologies for the fact that we're putting headphones with a modern day new sale price of £220, if that were projected forward, against headphones with a £700 retail price. What I want to show you is how the very best has come forward. I won't go into detail of the specifications of the H95 here. If you want to see my full review of the H95s, then I'll put a link at the end of this video. But I will very quickly tell you a little bit about the U70s. Now, launched in 1978, they were quite revolutionary because they were an orthodynamic design. So they were a halfway house between conventional dynamic headphones with a speaker driver and high-end electrostatic headphones that used an electrically charged membrane. Now, they were very expensive and complex to set up. So the orthodynamic headphones were a good middle ground. They meant that at a sensible price you could get some of the advantages of the high-end electrostatic headphones. These are quite unusual. They have a couple of controls that you need to adjust to get a comfortable fit. There's an adjustable headband here, which is adjusted by the head controls on the side, and there is an ear control on each side which releases the ear cups and allows them to be adjusted to the fit of your head. So once you put them on, you press down the ear control and release and it adjusts them. And it's a little bit of a trial and error process, but once you get used to them, you can actually get a really nice comfortable fit. Clamping force, as in how much they spring into your ears, is not excessive, nice and comfortable, and you can wear these for fairly long periods. It's worth mentioning that the black leatherette pads that were fitted on these as new have worn away. That does not affect the sound quality for the tests that are coming up, but all of the U70s I've seen in recent years have been missing their leatherette pads. You can get replacements for them, but they're just as comfortable and sound just as good with or without them. So, without further ado, let's head to the sound tests and then we'll meet up again afterwards and discuss what we found. I've got to offer a big thank you to my favourite local band Marvel for the two fantastic tracks that we're going to play here. If you're familiar with my channel, you'll know these tracks. Sound of the Sunshine and No Enemy But Time, two of my favourites. And I think they're great for giving comparisons between the headphones. So please, at this point, I'd suggest get yourself a good pair of headphones or a really good audio system to continue listening, to get the very best of the comparison between the sound of these headphones. I'll put timing links in the video description so you can click back and forwards between the two tracks and the two different headphones, and then we'll meet up in a few minutes and talk through the findings. Enjoy!
I gotta be there when you're coming round. I gotta be there to see that you don't make a sound and scare away the friends you made while you were sleeping all alone. There's nobody home but yourself and your mind floating around in your room, making foreign faces in the sound of the sunshine and the music in the rain. It always rains on the inside of my window pane, and the sound of the sunshine.
Someone there who understands. Take me by the hand, show me where it's going, where it's leading. It's like treading on the virgin snow. Steps ahead, I'll take alone if you need me. You need me, 'cause I know what you're saying to me, and it's you that is setting me free. Just when I thought I was lost, you could say I wasn't banking on love.
Coming round, I gotta be there to see that you don't make a sound and scare away the friends you made while you were sleeping all alone. There's nobody home but yourself and your mind floating around in your room, making foreign faces in the sound of the sunshine and the music in the rain. Inside of my window pane.
I must say, I was actually really impressed with the U70 sound. I took these out of the box initially thinking, no, these just aren't going to cut it. And they do, they really do. The bass depth is actually very impressive. I think the one failing that they have nowadays, when we're used to 21st century technology, is that the high treble is very soft and muted. Now that's partly down to the style of audio reproduction in the 1970s, and partly down to the orthodynamic driver design that's used. Whilst that did give mid-range and bass sound that could match high-end electrostatics, it did give a trade-off in a loss of high treble. So it leaves some of your music sounding just a little bit soft. However, listening to 1970s disco on these, on vinyl records, it does make things a little bit more even, and that was a test that I'd encourage you to try if you do get the chance to hear some of these. That's something that has a lot to be said for it, choosing headphones or speakers that match the era of music you enjoy most. And in this case, that rings true. I'm sorry I couldn't get any copyright-free 1970s recordings for the purposes of this test, but it's something I would encourage you to look into if these are of interest. The H95s, wow. Well, these are my current favourite headphones. I've found nothing that can beat these in terms of overall sound quality, bass depth, treble clarity, and just overall quality, fit and finish. So admittedly, we were always going to be setting up the U70s to fail to some extent. However, I think the one thing I'll be taking away from this is that, yes, of course, Bang & Olufsen sound technology has come on immeasurably. However, the U70s were a superb product at the time. Well made, well designed, well priced, and they've really stood the test of time. So if you like classic Bang & Olufsen, and particularly if you're a 1970s music fan, these are absolutely worth considering. My personal choice, of course, still the H95s, but really, really encouraging to see just how good these U70s are still. So as promised, I'm going to link to a couple of videos. At the top is going to be a big 6-way classic versus modern B&O headphone test that I carried out at B&O Derby recently, and underneath is my full H95 review. So please check these out and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching.